Hello survivors, Kindred here. In this video I will show you what zeroing is and how it affects your shots, how to accurately estimate ranges using the map and your surroundings, and how to use the PS01 scope's rangefinder. First let me tell you what zeroing is. Imagine you shoot at a player in the distance. You align your crosshair with the player's head and fire. To your surprise, the shot lands short. Why did this happen? Along with wind, which is not yet a factor in the game, there are two other major forces that affect the trajectory of your bullet. The first one is drag, or air resistance. Drag slows down your bullet as it travels through the air. The longer your bullet travels, the slower it becomes. And the slower it becomes, the less resistant it is to the effects of the other force, gravity. Gravity pulls down on the bullet and causes it to drop gradually. So it is the combined effect of gravity and drag that causes your shots to fall short. To compensate for this, all you need to do is shoot above your target. Or, the more practical solution, adjust your weapon to do this for you. Zeroing is essentially telling your gun how far you're shooting so it can compensate for the distance and help you hit your target. But to be able to zero your weapon accurately, you need to know how far away your target is. There are a few ways to find out. One of these is by using the map. You can zoom in and watch the scale change. I like to keep it like this, so the sides of the grid squares are 100 meters long. This makes sense because the possible zeroing settings on your weapons are the multiples of 100. You will rarely be zeroing on a target that lies directly on the grid lines. Let's have a look what the distances are when you want to shoot across the grid lines. I've included some of the most common examples here. If you want to download these images, I've included a link in the video description. Another way to estimate the distance is using the rangefinder on the PS01 scope. What you do is align the feet and the head of the person on the rangefinder and it tells you how far they are. This only works for targets that are standing up and 1.7 meter tall, which we can assume is the standard height of character models in DayZ. But here's where it becomes tricky. In the game setting is a field of view slider that changes your perceived distance to targets by making them appear closer or further away, and as a result, smaller or bigger on your rangefinder. Because there is no standard setting on the slider that would reflect reality, I had to find out what the correct field of view setting was. I found this nice spot on the map where the grid allows me to measure the distance very easily. Both this building and this road lie directly on the grid and according to the scale are exactly 300 meters apart. I asked my buddy Alec to stand in the doorway. Using a compass, I stood on the road directly to the east, which I knew was 300 meters away from Alec's position. I kept adjusting my field of view slider until my rangefinder showed that Alec was indeed 300 meters away. As you can see, the character model is very small at 300 meters, so it's not easy to say with absolute certainty that what the correct field of view is, but for the time being it's the best we have. To demonstrate how close range accuracy is affected by zeroing, I fired at this building from a range less than 100 meters, zeroing my weapon from 100 to 800 meters. As it turns out, you can still score a headshot at less than 100 meters, even if you're 0 to 300. You can also use zombies for range finding. Compare these two images. According to this one, the distance is approximately 500 meters, then the other one is barely above 400. I went with the first one, but after seeing the first shot go high, I zeroed to 400 instead. This seems to be due to zombie feet and ankles clipping through the ground. Using the rangefinder or a map to judge the distance between you and your target will give you a good idea how far to zero your weapon, but if you're not entirely sure, then do not try to score a headshot with the first round. Just aim for the center mass and you're more likely to hit your target, even if your zeroing is a bit off. There is a good chance that your first shot will severely injure your target, allowing you to finish them off with another shot. Watch where the shot hits before you fire another round and compensate if necessary. As with other things, practice is required to master rangefinding. Eventually you will realize that you can guess distances fairly accurately. What helps a lot is sticking to the same scope type and not changing your field of view. I hope this helped you. Thanks for watching.